Shalom Aleichem. It's our Parsha Shir. It is Parshas Shoftim, Tafshin Pei Daled. We're getting to the end of Tafshin Pei Daled, and one of my projects this year was this Parsha Shir. This has been a very important project. But I don't know if you noticed that we've been mukpid every week, and it's been a Shana Muberes, so a leap year, which meant basically I've been zoicha to give Chidushay Torah on every Parsha. And we're getting to the end of it. So I think next year we're going to not give a Parsha. We're going to give I'm going to give a Pirkei Avos shir. We'll see. Let's see. But anyway, so the Parsha begins. This is going to be a very, very practical and very what's the word? Itzy went. I'm sure he'll come back. A very practical and real class. This is going to be I mean, I hope all of our classes are real, but this is very, very lamaisa. Okay, so as we know, shoftim v'shotim titein lecha b'chol sha'arecha asher Adonai lehecha noisein lecha lishfatecha v'shaftu es ha'am mishpat tzedek lo yisate mishpat. Don't twist the din. Lo yisakir panim, don't favor anyone, yeah? Lo yisikach shoichad, don't take shoichad. Shoichad is bribes, yeah? Ki shoichad yave einei chachomim, because shoichad blinds the eyes of the chachomim. Yisalef divrei tzadikim. Salef is a weird word, but he translates it here as it perverts legitimate words. So there's a bunch of ways of translating that, but again, shoichad gives us bias, and bias blinds the wise and perverts the straight people. Okay, so I can't stress how deep this inyan is, because this is really our entire problem. This is really the problem. Oh, you got mute? I got you. That really this is really our entire problem, is bias. Shoichad is literally the entire issue. That's it. It's crazy when we get this clear how it is the root of everything. I just want to read you a Gemara in Sanhedrin, okay? I saw this years ago. I've quoted it many times. It's in the second parak of Sanhedrin. It says like this. I've got the teeniest little Gemara in the world, so excuse me. I was one time standing. I have a tiny Tanya, yeah? This is my little Tanya. And I was standing on an airplane one time. I was in the line for the bathroom. I'm reading my Tanya. And a guy, like a wise guy next to me, looks over and he says, "You couldn't have got a smaller one." And I look at him and I went like this. Anyway, so the Gemara says like this, yeah. Ein Moshe Melech b'Sanhedrin. The Melech isn't allowed to sit on the Sanhedrin. Now this is what we want. V'loy Melech v'koyin Gadol be'ibur shana. The Melech and the Kohen Gadol are not allowed to be on the Ibor Shana committee, the ones who add or don't add an extra month for the year. Why? Melech b'Sanhedrin tichsiv lo yisan al riv. There's a pasuk, don't like answer with an argument, and lo yisan al rav. Basically, Rashi says because the Melech can't be on the Sanhedrin. This isn't our point, but the Melech can't be on the Sanhedrin because people will be scared of the Melech and they'll do what he says, and he's not like even with everybody. But this is our point. Loi Melech v'Kohen Gadol be'ibor shana. The Melech and the Kohen Gadol are not allowed to be on the Ibor Shana committee. Mishum Melech Mishum Afsanya, Kohen Gadol Mishum Tzina. That's what the Gemara says. The Melech is not allowed to be on the committee because of Afsanya, and the Kohen Gadol because of Tzina, with a tzadi. Yeah, cold. Afsanya I don't really know the translation of Sanya. I think it means army, I think. But the Rashi says, yeah, Mishum Sanya. Why can't the Melech be on the committee? Machalik Mammon, Mishum Sanya. Machalik Mammon L'chayoloisav. He apportions out money to his troops, kach v'kach, l'shana, on an annual basis. And because he pays them on an annual basis, it makes sense that he'll squeeze 13 months out of them rather than 12 months. So he's biased. That's a very real bias, you know. An extra month, you know, save yourself. That's a lot of salary you save yourself, yeah. That's very good. But listen to this: the Kohen Gadol, we have a potential Kohen Gadol in our shir with us today. B'ezrat Hashem, there's a Goldschmidt's a Kohen, and the Kohen Gadol is literally the most heilige man in Am Yisrael. And listen to this. These are the words of Rashi, and this is the Gemara. Yeah, he's puzzle from the Ibor Shana committee. You hear that? He's not allowed on this committee. Why? Sina. Kohen Gadol. He doesn't want to add an extra month into the year because of cold. He needs to toivel and to be Makadish himself in Yom Kippurim. 5 tevilos, 5 tevilos, kedushin and 10 like kedushin, like washing his hands and feet. If he adds an extra month into the year, it's going to be that Tishrei falls out in Mar Cheshbon, meaning that instead of being in September, it will be in October. Yeah, V'tzinas Mar Cheshbon tihiyeh b'Tishrei, and the cold of the winter will be the Kohen Gadol. Yeah, is puzzle from the Ibor Shana committee because he is biased by adding another month because he's going to have to take a mikveh that's going to be a drop colder on Yom Kippur. 5 mikvahs. That's amazing, no? Anyone here saw Dumb and Dumber? You saw the film Dumb and Dumber? There's there's a lot of deep scenes, to be honest, but there's a very, very deep scene in the hotel room when he turns around to the woman and he says, so what's the chances of a woman like you and a guy like me getting together? She looks at him. I'm a D and I don't know what that means. I am a okay, I got you. Sounds like I'm the Dumb and Dumber. but he turns around, she turns around to me, she says, like 1 in a million. And he starts dancing around the room. Can you telling me there's a chance? You're telling me there's a chance. Yeah. That is such a deep idea. That's such a deep idea. I want to just read you this thing. And this is it's a serious idea we're going to say here, but this is how it goes. And you know what? First things first, let me show you. I'm not going to do this thing with you, but I've done this with another show. I'm just going to share my screen a moment. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Yeah? Lazy, you see this? You on your phone? Eliezer, you on your phone?
Yeah, but we can see it.
Yeah? Which card do you prefer?
The left one.
This one?
Yes.
No question. So I've shown this picture to a lot of people, and everyone says that. Everyone. And when I ask them to rate it, people will usually rate this like something like 7 out of 10, and this like 3 or 4 out of 10. Yeah? But you know where that's mamash crazy?
They're the same card.
Same car. All I did was I photoshopped a Ferrari badge on this one and left this as a Honda. But this is a Honda. It's exactly the same car. Crazy, no? You feel crazy, no? You feel ridiculous that you just said that, yeah? Just like everybody.
I was trying to figure out which Ferrari was that, so it doesn't look familiar.
What happened? This is such a deep Inyan. This is the Inyan of Sheikhah. This is the Inyan of bias. Okay, so before we answer that up, listen to this. This is a crazy thing, okay? This is from the National Library of Medicine. Oh, sorry, because of my green screen. There you go. The National Library of Medicine. You can print it out yourself. Okay. It's a known fact that girls. Oh, Yitzi, you missed out a lot of stuff.
I'll get the rerun.
Get the rerun. Oh, you jumped in. This is a good point. It's a known fact that girls with anorexia, generally have a higher IQ than average. Isn't that interesting? So listen, I'm going to read this to you. Result. In all 30 peer-reviewed studies written in English that used well-established measures of intelligence quota, IQ, blah, 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 were identified. This review established that people with anorexia nervosa scored 10.8 units and 5.9 units above the average intelligence quota of the normative population on the National Adult Reading Test and Welsh Intelligence Scales, respectively. Bekitzer, what's pshat? Why is it that on average, girls with anorexia nervosa are more intelligent than girls without? Isn't that a crazy stat? So the answer's in the picture that we just saw. What happened when you looked at that? I took two cars, it was a Honda, like CSX or something, like a sporty
CRV.
No, it was just like a sporty Honda, yeah. And I took that picture, and then a different kind. I photoshopped in a Ferrari badge, yeah. And Michael said he preferred the Ferrari one, the one with the Ferrari badge, like everyone. See, what happens is like this: the Ferrari have spent a huge amount of energy and money over the past 100 years forming your brain. They have a chalik in the architecture of the brain of Michael Novak. Yeah, mamash. When you see the Ferrari badge, certain things start firing in your brain and then it leads to your heart, etc.
Nebuch on Michael, Nebuch.
But it's the same with everyone. And you know what? The same thing happens when you look at a Ford badge. Something else happens. Your heart something else is happening. Yeah, but this is the point, is what's actually happening is machshavas. Machshavas are coming through. Okay. Now those machshavas, they could take on the form of emotions in a sense, whatever it is, but they're generally actual machshavas. They're words that are flying towards you and creating feelings. And what happens is they create for you a pair of glasses. Those glasses go over your eyes, and now when you look at that car with a Ferrari badge, you are experiencing a different car than when you look at the same car with a Honda badge. That's how branding works. You end up with different glasses. You're actually looking at a different thing because you're seeing it through a different lens, the lens of different words. So when you see a Honda badge, you're thinking, quality, maybe, Japanese, whatever, I don't know. You see a Ferrari badge, you're thinking, all the words you're thinking with a Ferrari badge, yeah? And they create glasses that are what you look through. So why is this now? What's this got to do with anorexia nervosa? Why is this a machla? And remember, anorexia nervosa is a mental condition, yeah? Why is this a machla primarily for intelligent people? What's the difference? What does it mean to have a higher IQ? I actually printed this out. What is IQ? Okay, in simple terms, the difference in a brain with a high IQ and a brain with a low IQ is that a high IQ brain tends to process information faster and more efficiently, has better memory and problem-solving abilities, and may have slightly different brain structure, etc. Yeah. Individuals with high IQs often have the ability to make more connections and inferences from the information they have. Bekitzer, having a high IQ is like having a more powerful computer. That's it. Literally, you've got more power at your disposal. Now, that sounds like a good thing, doesn't it? Not necessarily. And that's why anorexia nervosa is more prevalent among people with more powerful brains. Why? Because if you ever look at a girl, Rahmanas, who has that, yeah, you're like, what are you doing to yourself? You look like a skeleton. What are you doing? And she can't see that. She actually thinks she's fat. Why? Because her brain is able to convince her, because it's powerful, that what she's seeing in the mirror is fat, when it's objectively the opposite of Gamre. Whereas a person with a more simple, less powerful brain cannot, what's the word? Not trick themselves, cannot cannot delude themselves. It's a din on the power of the brain. That's moiridic. So now I wanted to bring this Mishnah before I forgot to bring it. This is what I wanted to start the whole share with. But the Mishnah says, Masya ben Charash Oimer, have a magdim b'shalom kol adam. Say before everybody see you say it, shalom. This is the point. Have a zanav la'arios va'alti roish l'shualim. Better to be the tail of a lion than the head of a fox. Okay. Now, as we know, your seichel gives birth to your midas, meaning your intellect gives birth to your emotions. If you don't know about, the matzav in Rwanda right now, you will not have any emotions towards it. That's everybody. Whether you have an emotional person or whether you're an intelligent person, the emotions are born of the intellect. If you don't know about something or you don't know of someone, then you have no emotions towards them. It's just, that's how it is. That's reality. But now, as we know, the question is what happens once the emotions get born? And this is the difference between an intelligent person and an emotional person. Now, in Yiddishkeit, there is no milah to being an emotional person, meaning somebody who is led by emotion. An emotional person in Yiddishkeit means a person who has very strong emotions. But it doesn't mean that you're being led by your emotions. That's not good. Meaning you can have extremely intense, vibrant, visceral, palpable emotions, and that's called being emotional, but that doesn't mean that you do rash things. So an emotional person in Torah means that they have very powerful emotions, like, for example, the Shimei Zilberberg. His emotions are explosive. Like they pull you. His emotions can pull in hundreds, thousands of people. Yeah. But I know that if there was something that was not right, he would be able to snap out of it like that. And his mind is there. Like, it's like letting your kids do whatever they want, but at the end of the day, if you need to step in, you can step in. As opposed to just letting the kids do what they want and you walking out the house. Two completely different realities. So we know that the mind gives birth to the emotions, yeah? And as we've said, there's two kinds of houses. There's the holy house, and then there's the house that's the opposite. The holy house is when the parents are being machanech the children. That's analogous to the brain guiding the heart. That's holy. That's givoldic. And that's exactly how it's meant to be. You're meant to allow the heart to be alive and on fire, but always not letting it. It's not allowed to just go wherever it wants. You're harnessing that energy like that, and that's what put together people do in this world. All put together CEOs. They've got a huge amount of energy in their lave, and they direct it into this, and they direct it into that, and that's why they're successful. And that's why they build amazing things, etc. Yeah, it's the same in Yiddishkeit. Like we learned, the koiches that you need to make money are the same koiches you need to serve Hashem. So the holy house is the one where the parents are allowing the children to be who they are in the most real way they can, but they're guiding them, they're nudging them in the right direction. A kid is, you know, he's always into building stuff, yeah. Don't let him you know, don't let him build guns and bombs. I don't know. You know, try and help him, you know, put together houses and whatever it is. Like guide, see what they are, who they are, what they are, and just nudge them in the direction of Kedusha. That's called chinuch, yeah? The unholy house, again, the parents give birth to the children. That's the way of the world, yeah? But now the children hijack the parents. And now in this case, this is when the power of the parents becomes an issue. See, when the children hijack the parents, and the parents haven't got money, haven't got influence, haven't got, you know, any power, then what can you do with that kind of person? Not so much. Whereas when you hijack your parent, and your parent is a powerful person, that's Rahmanas, a bit like the Indian of anorexia, like we just spoke about. So a parent with power has to be more weary, and it's more difficult because it's easier to spoil the children when you've got power. Easier to do that. So it's a very delicate thing. So you have to be incredibly disciplined to be able to do that. And that's an unholy house is where the children manipulate the parents and use the parents to fulfill their own selfish, immature needs. The holy house, the parents are directing the children to Kedusha. The unholy house, the children are using the parents to take themselves to selfishness. And that's exactly how it works in the body. Exactly how it works in the structure of the human being is that we've got our intellect, and we've got our emotions. The emotions are born of the intellect. And now what happens? What goes on? And that's what the mission is alluding to. The Havi Zanav La'arios. Why is it better to be the tail of a lion than the head of a fox? A lion is called a melech, yeah? He's the melech, he's the king of the jungle, yeah? Yehuda was the lion, yeah? Melech. Melech, as Michael knows for sure, is Mem Lamed Chaf, yeah? Rosh Hashanah, Moyach Leiv Kovid, yeah, which is the way of a melech, means the moyach is sholet on the lave, and the lave is sholet on the liver, on the blood, on the you know, on the gufnius of the behemoth of the person. That's a melech. The moyach, the brain, rules over the heart, and the heart rules over the blood. And that's givaldik. The heart rules. That's the liver. The liver's where the blood is. Yeah. So that's a melech. So what's the tail? The tail is not even necessary. It's not like the feet. Like a head needs feet. If you don't have feet, you can't go anywhere. But a tail is a completely different thing. If a lion didn't have a tail, I mean, you know, maybe couldn't flick the flies a little bit, but no big deal. A tail is superfluous. You would have thought that it was said, I mean, we know the Mishnah, it's so iconic, but you would have thought maybe it would have said it's better to be the foot of a lion than the head of a fox. But it says even more than that. It's better to be the tail of a lion than the head of a fox. To be superfluous even. At least you're connected to the system of Kedusha, where the moyach rules over the lay, which rules over the koven. What's the shual? What's the fox? The fox is the most cunning of all creatures. Arimus. He's oroim. He's cunning. What does that mean? That means he's got a good brain, but it's under the auspices of his heart. You don't want anything to do with that. And especially not to be the head. That's dafka. To be the head of the fox is the worst, because you're just being used. You're just being used by the lathe, and that's not nice. That's not nice. So I just thought this was a share to just give over that we have to be so aware of our biases. And Yitzi, you missed the bit about the Kohen Gadol. You'll catch it on the rerun, how the level that the Torah goes to. It said that because the Kohen Gadol has to take a cold mikvah, yeah, if he put an extra month into the year, he'd be taking a colder mikvah. Yeah, he was puzzled from the committee that used to decide whether they'd put an extra month in the year. That's the level of sheikhad. And then we just explained how it works, that the heart influences the brain. And that's why, Michael, you appreciated the same car more. Pitomi, it was like, no question. And it was only because of the Ferrari badge, just like everybody else. It's not like you're anything special. Yeah, as we know, none of us are anything special. And anyway, we should be saved. We should be saved from bias. And we'll see our whole lives become much easier if we can get over that as well. Hashem. Okay, so have a good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.